you guys, what is going on? It's your girl Cobbs, and I am back with you today for another video. So, if you were watching Studio Wildcard's Extra Life stream on December 2nd, you heard that they are adding cryopods back into ASA, and they are doing so sooner rather than later. The original plan was that cryopods would be added back when Extinction the map dropped. Cryopods do not exist in the original story of Ark until the map Extinction. So if the developers were looking to re-release the maps in somewhat of the same order that they originally released, it would make sense that cryopods wouldn't exist in-game until Extinction dropped. That being said, we are all very familiar with how unstable ASA can be. And without cryopods, that means more dinos out, which means more lag, to an already pretty laggy game. Studio Wildcard also announced their Public Test Realm, or their PTR, on December 4th. This was just 2 days after Extra Life, and 2 days after announcing that cryopods were coming back to the game in December. For those of you who don't know what a PTR, or a Public Test Realm, is, a PTR is a separate version of the game that players can go onto to test early bug fixes or potential additions to the main game. This provides a way for Studio Wildcard to test potential bugs and potential fixes for those bugs before sending them out to the main game and potentially messing something up even further. One of these new additions to the game that Studio Wildcard is now testing in their PTR is cryopods. So it's great to see that not only did Studio Wildcard announce that cryopods are coming back to the game, but they are currently testing a version of them, which will hopefully lead to us getting them at some point in December. Vanilla Cryopods were officially added to the PTR build December 11th around 8 p.m. Eastern. Their reception, though, was a bit mixed to say the least. Some of the highlights are that cryopods and cryofridges will now be level 50 unlockable engrams, cryofridges will take 5 minutes to activate, and the dino mating cooldown will now tick down correctly while they are in a cryopod. But there are some nuances that I think people are getting held up on, and very understandably so. One of these new vanilla nuances is that cryopods can only be released within range of an activated cryofridge. Another less than favorable nuance is that dinos cannot be cryopoded if they have been damaged within the previous 60 seconds. And if you are in PvP, cryopods cannot be released if there are enemies nearby. The measurements they've been using for all of these within XYZ ranges is 3,500, which, like I said, looks to be about 22 foundations away. Shout out to Natural Causes for testing that out on the PTR for everyone. But that's really not very far away. Putting limitations on when you can and cannot release a cryo dino will change the way this game is played regardless of if you're in single player, PvE, PvP, unofficial or official. The TLDR right now is that there are a lot of mixed feelings floating around. Some people are saying this is a very much deserved nerf. Others are saying this makes the game difficult in a very unnecessary way. I think what this boils down to, though, is the fact that this game can be played in about 1,000 different ways. The people who are doing single player just to have a good time and are complaining that the cryopods are going to make this unnecessarily difficult have very valid feelings on this. But the people who are wanting more of a challenge out of Ark and say cryopods made it too easy to begin with are also very valid in their opinions. What I'm hoping for is that when the cryopods go full release on the main game, is that there will be multiple options in how you can customize and use them in your servers or single player worlds. For example, the people who are looking for more of a challenge can keep the settings as they are, and the people who are looking for more of a creative and fun experience can just turn them off altogether. As a reminder, although we may not be super duper happy with the cryopod news, please remember that it is in the PTR build for a reason. Studio Wildcard heard our feedback on needing cryopods in the main game, and they have already pushed the release up. Definitely give your feedback and let them know if this is something you do or don't want, but also keep in mind that it's in the PTR for a reason. They are testing it out right now for a reason. There's always a time and place to get upset with Studio Wildcard and game developers as a whole, but I don't think this is it. And there are also many ways to be upset and give valid feedback without sending death threats. The community as a whole feels very passionately about Ark, which is great, but we also need to remember the developers are people, and a lot of the decisions being made are not the community manager's fault, which means maybe we stop sending them death threats. In the meantime, while we wait for vanilla cryopods, I do want to point out that there are a lot of cryopod mods already available in the mod marketplace. Our server, which I have a Discord link in the description for, has been using super cryo storage and hasn't really ran into too many issues with it at this point. The developer for the mod has also been pretty great about fixing bugs and taking feedback, so I highly suggest if you're looking to add cryopods to your world to use super cryo storage. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video caught you up on some of the stuff going on with the cryopods, and I will continue to keep track of it so that I can keep you guys updated in the future. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun things. Those tinier, easier things do go a long way for the channel. And if you want to see more, I stream on Twitch and would love to have you over there. So you should definitely come drop a follow and hang out with the homies. But like I said, that is it. If there's anything you want to know or hear more about, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!